What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today I am delighted because I have been waiting for a long time, since the 28th of September, when the Transformers trading card game was officially released, to bring you the best deck in the format. The problem is, as I've been saying for a while, the game's too new, we've not had any tournaments, nobody knows what's actually good. Well, now the game is 2 and a bit months old. And we have had some tournaments at PAX Unplugged, and we do know what's good, and now I am happy to say that Double Primes is the best deck in the format. Now, this is not my deck list. This comes from the lovely Joe over at Wreck and Rule. I will, of course, put links in the description, but the guys over there are doing great work, both video and in terms of articles, really pushing the game forward, really building the community. Those guys are awesome, and the fact that Joe is putting his deck lists online and just being like, yeah, check them out, is awesome. Thank you very much to him and to those guys for being great and pushing the game forward. It's not my list, it's his list, but now we can have a look. Now, when I say double primes, we are talking Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend. And we are talking Nemesis Prime Dark Clone. 2 of the most expensive cards in the set, but the battle cards aren't going to set you back too much. The characters, unfortunately, will. Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend is a phenomenal card. It's a 13 cost. The health of 14 is much higher than average. The defense is slightly higher than average with a 2 and a 3. And the attack of 8 in bot mode is crazy good. Although being melee in alt mode is going to help us, more on that in a moment. In bot mode, you flip your battle cards for your attack, and then you get to play one of the actions you flipped. Well, extra actions are good. They're one of the best things in the game. That is going to really help. In alt mode, when you flip to it, you return an action from your scrap pile to your hand. So that's really nice for getting your actions back. Clearly, bot mode is the more headliney one here. The attack of 8, great. And the ability that lets you use extra action cards, borderline broken. Don't sleep on alt mode, but bot mode is really the star. If we have a look at Nemesis Prime Dark Clone here, we see a 12 cost, which means you averaged at exactly 25, add up to at least. The health of 16 is the second highest in the game, which is awesome. The attack of 7 in bot mode, not to be sniffed at. And the skills are quite nice as well. Now, in bot mode, when you reshuffle your scrap pile into your deck, you put the bottom card of your deck face down under this, and you get +3 attack for each card under him. Okay. You're not going to get this going multiple times every single game. You will get it sometimes, and there are some white icons in this deck which will help you out rather nicely, but it's not always going to work. When it does work, oh my lordy, you are going to have a very high attack very quickly. If you get this working once, you go up to an attack of 10, which is already the highest in the game, and it just goes from there. When you flip into alt mode, your opponent chooses one of their characters and does 2 damage to it. Okay, it's their choice, they can put the damage wherever they want, but make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, they've still got to take the damage. It's not ideal, it's never going to be fun. Now, in terms of actions here, we start off with free Brainstorm, and Brainstorm, forgive the pun, is a no-brainer. Brainstorm lets you play 2 actions. So you play Brainstorm and then you can play 2 more actions. Well, this is a deck where you're recovering actions and using extra actions with Optimus Prime. So Brainstorm means that when you recover it, you get to play 2 more actions. When you flip it when attacking with Optimus Prime, you get to play 2 more actions. In a deck where you can play extra actions anyway, playing Brainstorm as your extra action gives you an extra 2 actions. That's awesome. But we need some other actions to play. How about Disruptive Entrance? It gives you a blue blip, just like Brainstorm. Yes, we're building up a little bit of defense here. And what this does is lets you look at your opponent's hand and scrap an action from it. You're playing a lot of actions. You stop your opponent playing actions, which means you get a lot more actions than them. That is going to lead to success. We see free leap into battle. Again, we're maxing out on here. It's another blue, again, building up the defense, and one of your characters gets +3 attack until the end of your turn. We've already talked about Optimus and Nemesis being good attackers anyway. Adding to the attack of 3 just goes better, but we're seeing a bit of balance here. Yeah, you get the +3 attack from Leap into Battle, but we're building up some blue icons so we build our defense as well. 3 Plasma Burst. Now, Plasma Burst actually doesn't even have an icon to begin with, but you do 2 damage to an enemy. Just a flat 2 damage. Now, Nemesis Prime does what I like to call cheeky damage, which I define as damage outside of your regular attacks, but your opponent chooses where it goes. You choose where this goes. The extra damage is awesome, and of course it ignores armor, you just get to put the damage down. It's disappointing that you don't have a pip here. There's no icon, you don't get an attack or defending bonus, but come on ladies and gentlemen, it's that gosh darn good. Ramming speed, scrap an enemy upgrade. Plus we got an orange here. We need some orange pips, of course. Ramming speed, it gets rid of an upgrade. And there's plenty of upgrades you might want to get rid of. Maybe you get rid of a power sword to stop your opponent doing a whole bunch of extra damage because of bold 3. Or maybe you get rid of body armor to get rid of their tough 3. Or maybe you get rid of a force field, because force field says they can only take 4 damage. And you want to do more than 4 damage. Ramming speed's got your back. 2 copies of Rapid Conversion, so it's not been maxed out here. Rapid Conversion is stunning. It lets you flip one of your characters to its other mode, and both the primes here have really good abilities when you flip them into alt mode. And you've got the white icon as well. White icons are great because firstly, they let you flip 2 more battle cards when attacking or defending. Only the first one you see. And also, if you can run through your deck fast enough, then Nemesis Prime gets an extra card under and then gets a much higher attack, which is definitely something we want to be talking about. And look, this list is mainly 3-ofs. There's a couple 2-ofs because you're allowed a 40 card deck. And you can go over 40 cards. I know some people do, but a general rule is the more over 40 you go, the less consistent your deck gets. So sometimes you drop down to some 2-ofs. One of the things I love about Rapid Conversion is the ability to transform in your turn normally, get the bonus, but then flip straight back into bot mode, which of course is where the best attacking is. We see 3 lots of security checkpoint here. Now, this gives you double blue. This is clearly a deck that loves its blue icons, get a bit of defending going, and double blue is great. But also you scrap all upgrades from your hand and your opponent does as well. Yes, that can hurt if you play it wrong, but look, if you've got lots of good upgrades in hand, don't play security checkpoint. Simple as that. Although the double blue here really is quite stunning. 2 copies of Team Up Tactics. Again, we've got a blue here. Choose one of your characters. If it's a truck, repair 2 damage from it. If it's a card, draw 2 cards. Well, Nemesis Prime, truck. Optimus Prime, truck. So you ain't going to be drawing any cards here. It's just a little bit of healing. So in a truck deck, this essentially does the exact same thing as Medic, except Medic doesn't have an icon. This has a blue icon. No, I think we're pretty good with that. And 3 copies of The Bigger They Are. One of your characters gets +2 attack until the end of the turn. While it's attacking an enemy that has more stars than it, it gets Pierce 4. You ain't going to be getting the Pierce very often, ladies and gentlemen. Now against Metroplex, this is going to be phenomenal, because of course Metroplex has many more stars than you. Outside of that, well, Nemesis Prime will only get this against Megatron Living Weapon and Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend, which does make it quite good in the mirror. Optimus Prime will only get this against Metroplex, but still, Pierce 4 is good, and even if you don't get the Pierce, you still get the +2 attack, and you get the blue icon. That seems fine by me. In terms of upgrades, we got 2 lots of armor, 3 force field, and look, if you've been watching my Transformers videos, you know that I adore force field. Firstly, it's got a white icon, which I love. Secondly, it guarantees you can't take more than 4 damage. And sure, you're going to come across ramming speed a bit, and your opponent's going to get rid of it, and if they do, they do. But you still get it unless your opponent draws something like a ramming speed. You still got the white icon. I don't make decks without free force field. Similarly, we've got free reinforced plating. This has a blue icon. Yes, clearly we're going heavy on the blue icons. We want to defend. We've got really good attackers, so we build up our defense, so we've got the best of both worlds. If you go too heavy into attacking, you can be really vulnerable to a deck that just overpowers you because you've got not good defense. It gives you tough 2. Lets you flip 2 more cards when you're defending, plus you got the blue icon. It's a great defensive card. In terms of weapon, we see free Energon Axe. Now, Energon Axe can only be put onto damaged characters, but you're playing a 2-wide deck. So your opponent is going to have to be attacking both your characters, so they're both going to end up damaged pretty quickly. Again, we've got a blue icon, and we've got Pierce 2, which means you guarantee 2 damage, which is rather nice indeed. Then we see 3 copies of Handheld Blaster. Handheld Blaster is a nice little card purely because, and stop me if you've heard this one before, it's got 2 blue icons. We're playing the double blue action card. We talked about it earlier, it's Security Checkpoint. We're playing the 2 blue upgrade card. We're maxing out on the blues. Well, we're not maxing out, that's lazy language on my part. But we're playing a lot of blues. Plus you get Bold 1. Bold 1's quite nice. Remember, when you're attacking with Optimus Prime, you choose your action card after you've flipped over all your cards. So bold means you flip over an extra card, which gives you another chance to hit an action you really want to use. And that is, of course, the other great thing about Optimus Prime. If you flip actions, you get the pips, but then you get to use them as well. Whereas in a regular deck, you flip it, you get the pips, but you lose a chance to use it. Not with Optimus Prime. And then 3 copies of Power Sword. Now, Power Sword can only be put onto a melee character, but, well, they're both melee characters. Nemesis Prime is a melee regardless of which form you're in, and Optimus Prime is a melee in alt mode. Remember, you can put them on when they're a melee character, and then when they go back to non-melee, they still stay on there. Power Sword gives you Bold 3. And it's the only way to get Bold 3 as an upgrade. Plus you get a blue icon as well. We've talked enough about blue icons. I really like this deck. And there are other builds of double primes. We're going to see different builds of double primes. I like this build a lot. You've got the actions to take advantage of. You've got a lot of defense with the blue pips and just enough extra investment into attacking to make sure that you can do a hefty amount of damage. We are still early on in the Transformers TCG. At PAX Unplugged, it was very obvious that Double Primes was the best deck. Because, here's the thing, right? It wasn't just Joe that was crushing with this. There were many people playing this. And there was one day where Joe went 4-1 with Double Primes, losing in round 5 to the eventual winner who went 5-0 with Dual Primes. It is the best Transformers deck now. Will it be forever? Probably not. People are going to work on a way to beat it. This is the best deck now. We'll have to see what happens going forward. This seems like the best list now. We'll have to see going forward. Big up to the dudes over at Wreck and Rule for the great content they're providing and for publishing their list so that we can have a look at it on this lovely video today. And now it's over to you guys. So in the comment section, I want you to tell me what you think about this list, and I want you to go nuts. But I want you to be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy for some more Wossy action. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.